All right, check out our new sponsor, Greenwood Stocks. They want you to know how to be able to trade stocks and be your own boss and be free to travel the world by making passive income. We all need that passive income from stock market. What are you waiting for? Call or text 281-760-3170. If you didn't catch that, that's on your screen. Or check them out at social media, Greenwood Stocks, and catch them at Gmail, greenwoodstocktrading at Gmail, and the YouTube channel is Greenwood Stocks. Appreciate them for giving me the opportunity. Check them out. We out. All right, Daniel Cormier said he wants to fight your guy, Jake Paul. But first, talk about Usman. Kareem Usman said on TMZ that he want to fight Billy Joe Saunders, saying that people in the division didn't really excite him. After you beat, Kobe Covington, Masvidal, and just, But let's just talk about what he said first, and then we get to DC, with his limited boxing skill set issues. But Kareem Usman on next fight, I'd murder Conor McGregor, but very interested in Jake Paul. Kareem Usman tells TMZ he's more interested in beating the ish out of Jake Paul than Conor McGregor, explaining he's been looking for an excuse to punish one of these internet guys. Usman is fresh off a violent performance against Jorge Masvidal this past Saturday, ready for the pay-per-view numbers to come out, see what it did, where he basically sent Game Bread to the shadow realm with one of the most devastating knockout punches in UFC history, man. If you ain't familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh, I watched it, but I ain't set the table playing with the nerves. Before that, Usman went on a run, dominating the best in the UFC welterweight division. Had the offer from Gilbert Burns to Kobe Covington to Tyron Woodley and more. Woodley just got released. Usman says he's down to fight 2 more times this year, but admits there's no one in the division that's tickling his fancy at the moment. Sure, he doesn't trade. Sure, he's been trading trash talk with Conor McGregor, but Usman says when push comes to shove, Conor doesn't want the smoke. Quote, he fought once in the last year and a half, and that didn't go well. Didn't end well for him. Usman says, imagine what I would do to him. I would take his life in there, which brings up Jake Paul. If these guys don't show me anything, maybe I put out one of these guys who thinks I can box. Excuse me. Maybe I put out one of these guys who think I can box and beat the ish out of them. I think he meant can't box. Maybe it's a typo. Kareem even referenced the back and forth with Daniel Cormier and Jake Paul in the stands at UFC 260 and begged DC to stand down so he could teach this guy a lesson. DC, sit down. Let me take care of this guy, Usman said. Usman says he's sick and tired of Paul dissing legends like Cormier and believes it would be his duty to be some respect into him. Hey, Jake is looking for a fight. So never say never. It depends if Dana White want to give one of his other guys up. I'll be going for Usman, straight up and down. I think Usman, he's got his striking is improved, but the question is much as who's improved more. Like I said, if Jake Paul fight Tommy Fury and get past him, then Kareem Usman have enough time, maybe sacrifice one of those dates and just work on his boxing. But Jake Paul ain't shit, man. Like I said before, they let him back him up. He leaning to the same way. All you got to do is shoot a hook or uppercut. And like I said before, maybe Usman needs to take the rest of the year and work on his boxing. But it wouldn't surprise me if Paul put hands on him. But Paul not that good, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's just picking on guys who has no boxing experience. And Usman got to understand, you fighting with 8 or 10 ounce gloves. You got to punch through the target. That's kind of the biggest thing with UFC guys. Just punch you through the target. But of course, at least he'd rather go in the boxing ring. I think, he got boxing skills. So we'll see, let's say they fight in December, see how well he can go along. But like I said before, man, he's not going to fight no boxer. He's not going to fight a better BF. He's not going to fight a guy like Ryan Artest or Kendall Gill who got experience of being an athlete. He's going to pick on people who can't box. You know what I'm saying? And like I said before, Ben Askren going to look hella terrible in there. But like I said, Usman just finished the year boxing, proving on the striking, punching through the target. That's much used to UFC guys understand. Punch through the target. Punch through the target, man. And he did that versus Masvidal, but you got to do it consistently with hooks, uppercuts, jabs, hooks to the body. But I think, to be honest, I'll pay to see that, especially when he clean out the division. He earned the right to go get a multi-million-dollar payday because he made about, $1.5, they said, plus pay-per-view maybe. He come on with $3 or $4 million, $3.5 million. You know, he deserved to go out there and get a 10, 15, $20 million payday. He beat Paul, you know, before Floyd fought the other Paul, then maybe he could box Floyd. But the fight I want to see is him and Khabib. You know, even though I know Khabib may or may not come back, they usually always come back. That'd be the fight I want to see. But Daniel Cormier was saying, real quick, he was saying that we'll say that for a minute. Give me a minute. But with we'll see what Jake Paul say. You know, Jake Paul, you see this, he responded to this in a quick enough time, expeditiously. Then we'll see if he want to fight it. But I don't think he want to fight Usman. But you got to wonder about one of these dudes probably, you know, just drop kicking. Or just go ahead and just slamming Jake in the ring after the fight or whatever, cut their gloves off. But I think everybody understands it's a business. I think everybody understands nobody want to lose money. But he got UFC in a frenzy. And he giving those guys the opportunity to come make high paydays. Ben Askren hadn't made that much in his career. You know what I'm saying? So boxing's where the money at. Boxing has the deeper roots. You know, UFC lay they cement, but it ain't dry yet. And they ain't paying their fighters so much money. So Jake Paul, he got the leverage. He's a UFC fighter. I mean, he's a boxer. Come make that money in boxing. You know what I'm saying? Even though you can learn mixed martial arts far faster than you can learn boxing, you can start off at 20 years old as a wrestler, 18 years old, and then, you know, pick up striking, pick up kicking and all that stuff. You legit can. Boxers, usually, you know, anything over 16, you got to learn. We have a situation where guys were 20, 29, Adonis Stevenson, 27, Sergio Martinez, they came and did it. But it's extremely hard. So it's hard for them guys to do that. But remember, striking ain't the same in the UFC as in boxing because you got to defend kicks, takedowns, etc. But DC said he wanted to do it in the octagon, knowing Jake Paul went to it. Even though Jake Paul is learning striking and boxing, he has a wrestling background, he's not going to go and make less in the octagon, you know, and risk his legacy versus Daniel Cormier because he would get manhandled. It wouldn't even be a contest. He can't wrestle on that level. You know, he can't defend kicks on that level. So, like I said before, of course, you know, Daniel Cormier going to say, let's keep it in the ring. You know, let's keep it in the octagon. I don't blame him. You know, I wouldn't be no fool. And, you know, I'm an older guy. How old is this brother? Older guy, and I'm talking about going into the freaking octagon or going into a boxing ring. Hell no. You know, even though he proved he could punch, but that was with the 4-ounce gloves, whatever they're using. I think he in his 40s. Yeah, he's 42 years old. Before he lose, he'll scoop motherfucking Jake Paul on his knees and body slam him. And I wouldn't blame him if Dana White to pick up the penalty, and he should. He another brother from Louisiana. You see all these receivers from Louisiana in the NFL, Justin Fields, Devontae Smith, with the brother from it's coming out tomorrow, Jamar Chase, Heisman winner Devontae Smith, man, Louisiana going crazy right now. But like I said before, man, I wouldn't do it. But like, let me know what you guys think. Check out the MMA playlist. Don't forget me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can reach out if you want to promote your business. Video requests, you just want to chop it up. Twitter's the password, and Facebook. Then Instagram, want to make a financial donation. Cash App, CJ Good 313 in the description. PayPal link there as well too. Best way to donate, just share the video. Check out the MMA playlist. Let me know what you think about Usman versus Jake Paul. And DC saying Jake Paul come to the octagon one time for the one time. Good for Sports TV.